From the Game Nashville studios, it's time for Darren, Daunic, and Chase. With hosts Darren McFarland, Willie Daunic, and Chase McCabe. On Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game.
And a good Wednesday morning to you, and welcome into Darren, Daunic, and Jason D-Mace here on this gorgeous day. Happy Hump Day. Darren McFarland, Willie Daunic, Derek Mason with you, Elijah Campbell, Hillside Medical Game Studio. Lots to get into on the program. Predators get back after it out in Seattle after the Stadium Series game here on Saturday. They'll be tonight taking on the Kraken. 9 o'clock puck drop, 8 o'clock pregame. Everything heard right here on these airwaves. Guys, how we doing?
Well, we're doing all right. We're doing all right. D-Mace and I, we're ready to roll. We did get some inquiries here in the studio, Darren, about your situation.
Okay.
You know, some people wanted to know, hey, you know, how's Darren? Can he go?
Yeah, they
Can he
didn't
go?
know whether you were up or down.
Yeah.
Are you on IR? Or
Yeah, they wanted an injury report.
Yeah.
I don't know if they have you on their fantasy team or something, but they they
Well,
wanted to know.
Good luck to them if they do. It's not going to be much production. I can tell you that. Actually, I got the call during the show yesterday, and the timing was impeccable because it was during a break. Been waiting and waiting and waiting to get this MRI scheduled. So I do have it scheduled for next Wednesday, so a week from today, right after the show. So I'll head down to Murfreesboro at TOA and get an MRI, and then wait for probably the bad news after that. As you can tell, I'm very optimistic.
Yeah, you're very. I mean, you might be down a couple of months. You know,
I don't know, Derek.
they're not going to strictly put. They're not going to put you on IR. We're not putting you on IR just yet.
Not yet.
Yeah, we're gonna wait for us to get the results back, and then, you know, if you do have to have surgery, we will make a determination after you come out of surgery. You know how you look.
That's right. Then we'll have a timetable.
Exactly.
I'll be honest, I know, realize nobody cares, but we're talking about this subject.
Wait a
I was
minute.
having,
People were asking.
Yeah,
here
they
in the
walked
studio.
in. People walked in. It was like,
Very
hey.
important people.
I was, and Willie, you just went through this, and Derek, you've certainly dealt with your fair share of stuff playing in the NFL for a long time and playing football for a long time. And Willie, you had a long, grueling injury as well. And I don't know, we didn't really talk about it, I guess that part of it too much, but I was at Cool Springs MD yesterday, and I've been over there a lot over the years. Yeah, they all know me, I know all of them, and they're great. And even towards the end, like Michelle was like, you seem a little bit off today, and I was like, I'm just down. I mean, we talked about it. She's like, what are you doing hobbling around? And I was like, oh, yeah. And I was just like, I'm just kind of down because I'm fearing the worst, and I'm like, good Lord, I don't want to do this whole rehab stuff again. Like, I'm just so tired. Tired of rehab. I'm tired of my body breaking down. I don't know if you felt that way, Willie, when you went through your shoulder stuff, if there were just days when you're like, man, I'm just mentally exhausted from this.
Well, I think that's always a struggle probably for even the top athletes is you have to embrace, you have to try to get yourself psyched up because there are going to be days like that.
Yeah, you
right?
gotta love the pain, man. You gotta love the grind, man.
No, I don't love that. I mean, I
that's
love
what
it.
You gotta love.
I know, but when I'm healthy,
You got
to
to visualize what's it going to be like when I get this thing back.
Absolutely, man.
100%.
And again, they might give you a bionic knee. You never know, man.
We can rebuild him.
Exactly.
We need to get the $6 million
Then
man.
you be D-Mac of like 1993 or something.
Oh, snap. Watch out.
You never know, man.
Then I will be playing pickup basketball games after all.
No,
I would take that $6 million knee. I can't pay for it, but I will take that knee. Whatever you're describing, I'll take it.
Hey, man, you might be the guy they give a test trial to, you know?
Can you imagine, Darren? The knee's so good, like he ends up being a field goal kicker. got this magical knee. You can kick it from 75 yards out.
Anything 75 and in. We're going to trot him out there. He's good.
So it's like,
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. This is Darren.
Steve Austin.
Darren McFarland.
A
Astronaut.
man barely alive. Gentlemen, we can rebuild him. We have the technology. We have the capability to make the world's first bionic man.
See, this is what's going to inspire you. The music's about to pick up, Darren. Think about this when you go to the rehab.
Better than he was before.
All right. Better, faster.
Stronger. Faster.
See, get pumped up right here, Darren. This is when you get pumped up.
All right, we're back.
There you go.
Let's do this.
He's back! McFarland is on for a 75-yard field goal. It's up! It is good! McFarland from 75!
That knee is unbelievable.
oh man,
He's back.
teams ain't, whatever team you go to, they're not even gonna try to score a touchdown. They just, as soon as they get it, let's kick a field goal.
That's right.
Kick a bunch of field goals.
3
man.
points every
Exactly.
possession, no matter where you are on the field.
Jeff Fisher's back coaching.
There you go.
Yep.
Maybe I'll get signed by the Panthers. Who knows?
Hey, just gotta live down in where they playing at, in Alabama. Just gotta live in Alabama.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys. I feel better now. I'm after hearing that music and kind of going through this. All right, I'm pumped.
That's how you're supposed to be, man. You're supposed to embrace the grind, embrace the potential bionic knee.
I embrace the grind house, but not really the grind. But anyway, I'll have to, right, if I get the bad news.
Well,
I
you
don't have
can't
a
play
choice.
soccer with your son because either you're going to hit him with the ball, kick the ball and hit him, and he's going to knock him across the street, or you're going to kick the ball into the next city. So one of the two.
Heartbreaker. I wish Vanderbilt had a bionic knee,
Oh, man.
last night to finish that off. They had Florida on the ropes, and unfortunately, big three-pointer. Who was it? Fleming hit the three-pointer with 7 seconds to go to give Florida the lead, and that would be enough as they would get a big win at Memorial Gym.
Yeah, that was a massive win for Florida. They needed that badly for their bubble hopes. We've started our research for the bubble report, which is coming up, I think tomorrow. We'll be ready for that.
Report.
I have the whole field seated and selected.
Elijah Campbell definitely doing the research. But Vanderbilt played a good game overall, made a great surge in the second half. They were hot from three-point range. They were hitting a bunch of them. And I hate to say this, but they were one play away from sealing the game on about 3 straight possessions. They have the ball up by 3. I can't remember exactly how much time, but Florida is pressing. They go deep. They hit Scottie Pippen for what looks like a breakaway layup. And the Florida guy, I got to give him credit. He made a great block on a dead layup where it looked like Pippen was going to go down and score. They go up by 5. And I think it's probably game over if he makes that. Instead, Florida blocks the shot, comes back, scores. Then Vanderbilt with, 19 seconds. They call timeout. They can't get the ball in. Jordan Wright tries to throw it to Scottie Pippen. He throws it out of bounds. Florida hits a 3 to go up 2. Vanderbilt comes down. Scottie Pippen gets fouled. It's a 1-and-1. He misses the front end of the 1-and-1. Game over. So, one more play, one more winning play, and they get the win. But they're not quite there.
I watched Mike White talk to the SEC Network after in postgame out from the floor, and he really praised Vanderbilt. He's like, they're probably the most improved team in the league from last year to this year, which, I know on one hand is nice, but I'm sure Jerry Stackhouse is like, yeah, well, that's great, but we're here to try to finish those games and win those games.
Mike White wants to pump up that win because he needs that resume.
But it's
to
a
look
quad
good.
win. It's a quad one.
It's a quad 1 win. Yeah. And to their credit, Vanderbilt has made that a place where you can't just roll in there and win. But it's just so – I keep going back. I don't want to put it all as a crutch, the loss of Chapman. I just would have loved to have seen what this team could have done had he not gotten hurt. Maybe they'll get him back for the SEC tournament. But you're looking at – you were looking maybe an NIT and that's probably not a possibility.
I mean, it depends
now.
on how far they go in the tournament.
Yeah.
In their tournament, whether they get an NIT bid or not. If they can win a game.
Hey, it's down in Tampa. I mean, you can't count Florida out, right? You can't count them out. It's down in Tampa. They'll have some fans
They'll
there.
have several
rooting them
hundred
on.
fans. Several hundred fans. Florida loves their basketball. They got the worst basketball fans ever. Come on.
Wow, Willie throwing the darts.
Man,
Listen, man.
You're just upset today.
Florida
Willie.
fans, they're look, I'm from Florida, so I feel like I can say this. They're the cockiest fans in the league. They just
Football
think there's-
fans or just
No, really.
sport fans in general?
They're passionate about football,
Uh-huh.
as we saw this past season, right?
As they have a right
They
to
ran
be.
their coach out of town.
Mm-hmm.
Every other sport, whether they know about the sport or not, they just think they're supposed to win the national championship. Oh, wait a minute. You didn't win the national championship? What's wrong? But they just think they're supposed to win at everything. It drives me crazy. All my friends from high school always text me when they beat Vanderbilt. I get texts from people I haven't heard from. in
Oh,
several
so
months.
this is a little bit from last night. Okay.
Oh,
man.
Willie's a little bit
Oh,
upset.
yeah, so he got
He's a
some
little
text last
salty.
night.
You get that sarcastic person from my high school. What was the score of the Vanderbilt Florida game? I didn't see it.
Okay, he got
Or-
a salty text last night.
Or you get this one. Oh, too bad for Vanderbilt. They played really hard.
Bless their hearts.
Bless
Did
their
they do a
hearts.
bless their hearts?
They almost had us.
I bet Willie
They
threw his
almost-
phone across the room.
Oh, Willie
I
was
like-
so mad.
I was like, what do I even say? I don't even want to return this text.
Can you repeat what you said?
Oh, man. People he
I
ain't
just
heard
turn
from in months.
I just like take my phone and turn it over.
Did you say what McCarron said on the ice in the Stadium Series game when well, you were down Brinkside.
No, I
but
didn't hear what he said.
Oh, they panned on him, and it was very clear what he said.
Oh, okay.
It was nothing I can repeat. Or it will be my last show. It'll be my last segment, actually, if I say it. It'll be
go
my
there.
last show. It'll be my last segment. I'll be like, guys, introduce Richard. Have a good interview. You guys can appreciate this on our text line driven by WilsonCountyHoney.com. No name. Wish they would have put their name. They texted in, come on, Darren, toughen up. Wow.
Wow, that's a shot. Right
Shot at
there.
Lawan.
Shots fired.
It's a shot at me, I guess, and a shot at Lawan.
Wow. Goodness.
Come on, Darren, toughen up. Then Keith texted and says, uh-oh, he's clenching his Achilles. Don't say that, Keith.
Oh, you don't want one of those. Ooh.
Don't do that, please.
Ugh.
I got enough problems. Please, not that. Another one, let's see, text on what Willie just said about the Gators fans. No name. Gators fans just as bad as Bama fans. Go Vols. Agreement. So I think we got down to it.
Yeah.
Willie got a couple texts last
Yes,
night,
listen,
Darren.
I did.
It carried
My
over
high
to
school
today.
buddies.
Yeah,
They
he
love
thought
to
about
get-
it. That was the first thing
But
he
it's
thought
like-
about when he woke up this morning.
It's like they
those
don't.
texts.
Florida hasn't, since they won the back-to-back titles, right? They've had some good teams. Billy Donovan, they're usually pretty good, but it's like they don't care that much if they're not winning. It's like, oh well, they're terrible. They're not in the national championship discussion. I'm gonna follow football or follow something else. And then when they win a game like that, they come out of the woodwork.
All right,
Like they won a championship.
We'll come back and we'll bring in Richard Deitch. Been a while since we've caught up with him. A lot of good stuff going on. We'll talk with Richard next here on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
A show that doesn't pull any punches.
And they win a playoff game and they get to the divisional round and he doesn't give up a sack the rest of the year. I don't give two poops. I'm done.
And has an opinion on everything.
That ref crew that was just terrible. Threw flags on almost every possession.
Jared Stillman hosts Stillman and Company.
Tough guy. He's a really tough guy.
Weekday afternoons from 2 to 6. Delivered by TriStar Moving on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN.
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
When you cut lawns for a living, reliability matters. The Kubota commercial lineup with purpose-built mowers like the Z700 Zero-Turn, SZ Stand-On, and W-Series Walk-Behind decrease downtime and increase productivity. A comprehensive fleet program with special discounts and free loaners helps grow your business one perfectly manicured lawn at a time. Visit your local Kubota dealer today.
Come see why Coleman Tractor Company is one of the largest Kubota dealers in Middle Tennessee, Paris, Clarksville, Nashville, and their new location in White House. It's the official Bud Light Preds watch party as your Nashville Predators take on the Seattle Kraken Wednesday night. Puck drops at 9 p.m., but the party starts at 8:30 with all kinds of specials. See you at Headquarters Beercade downtown Nashville on 2nd Avenue. Go Preds!
Need cash for that home improvement or want to finally be credit card debt free? How does a check for 80 or 90 grand sound right now? Loan Pronto can do it for you, whether you have a VA loan or a conventional loan. They're helping local homeowners convert their home equity into cash with zero closing costs. Willie Daunic here. Listen, your home value is up. Let Loan Pronto tap that equity and get you the cash you need. Pay off high interest loans. Start that home remodeling project. Veteran homeowners are really loving this because with a VA loan, you can tap 100% of your home's equity. That's a ton of cash. Loan Pronto's all-digital process makes it fast and easy. They are doing loans with APRs in the 2s. And if you call now, you can even skip your next 2 house payments. Call now to see what your options are. Loan Pronto, 615-499-5780 or loanpronto.com. That's 615-499-5780. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166-1781. Subject to lender approval. Not all loans apply.
Hey everybody, Robbie Stanley here to tell you about my friends at Jasper's as the neighborhood bar and restaurant to catch the next Preds game. Jasper's is located on West End Avenue and offers a fun atmosphere with a game room, TVs, and a large bar and lounge area. Plus they offer free parking. That's right, free parking on West End, and offer specials for every Preds game day, including $10 smash burgers and $3 bottled domestics. So come on down to Jasper's next game day for happy hour every weekday from 4 to 6 p.m. and 2-for-1 beers all day on Sundays. Just tell them that Robbie Stanley sent you.
Mark Howard here to tell you about my friends at Apple Collision Centers. We all know being in a collision is not fun. Neither is all the stress that comes with it, and that's where Apple Collision comes in. Let them take care of everything for you. That's insurance, repair, and your rental details. They've got 3 convenient locations in Old Hickory, Hendersonville, and Gallatin. Their managers, Tommy Rippey, Daniel Neville, and Marty Denson, combined for over 75 years experience. So stop in today and tell them Mark sent you. Online at applecollisioncenters.com.
Hey, it's Chase McCabe of Darren, Daunic, and Chase. I started my radio career as an intern right here at ESPN 102.5 The Game. Now we're looking for our next great batch of interns. You think that's you? Send your resume to together@cromwellmedia.com to apply today.
Hi, I'm Yusuf Saros. And this is Smashville.
Now here's a try off to the side. What a stop made by UC Saros there.
Unreal. You're listening to the flagship of the Nashville Predators radio network. ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Interact with Darren, Daunic, and Chase. Call or text the show at 615-737-1025. Driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com.
Don't forget you can watch us streaming live on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. Our video streaming is brought to you by the law offices of Amanda Gentry. Back here on the DDC, Darren McFarland, Willie Daunic, and D. Mace in the house with us today on this gorgeous Wednesday here in Nashville. Let's bring in our buddy Richard Deitch from The Athletic. Always good stuff from him. Richard, how you doing?
It's a lot of pressure, guys. Good to be with you.
So the Olympics, it's in the books. Winter Olympics is in the books, and the ratings were in the toilet. Not very good. What did you make overall of – it didn't seem like a lot of people – and look, we talked about it behind the scenes. Like, did we discuss it? And we just got the vibe there weren't very many people paying attention to it, which is really sad. It breaks our heart. But, it is what it is. I know the times were difficult, but doesn't look like America was paying close attention to the Winter Olympics.
Yeah, I mean, boy, where to go with this, because it really goes into issues far beyond just sports. I mean, NBC essentially had NBC had so many bad headwinds coming into these Olympics that, for those of us who write about it, it was a pretty easy prediction to predict that these would be the least watched Olympics in history. So you're starting with a number of issues. One, the country that the Olympics are being held in is a human rights abuser, and the majority of Americans, at least how they feel politically about China, not necessarily about the Chinese people, but politically about China is negative, right? It's not a nation at the moment that we're fond of. So you're starting with that alone.
Yeah.
Then you go to the fact that the time difference is an issue. It's an Asian Olympics where time differences are a massive issue. You're in the middle of a pandemic, so not only do you have issues domestically here in the U.S., but the games itself have really no atmosphere because friends and family can't attend. There's essentially nobody in the crowd, and so you have literally just sort of nothing. There's no fondness about the Olympics that exists. And then, trust me, I can do 20 of these. The IOC is probably the most loathed, correctly organization in the world, sports organization in the world. And heading into these Olympics, of course, they were pretty feckless about how they responded with Peng Shuai, how they responded to the Chinese, how they responded to the Russians. And then lastly, the Winter Olympics, as a general rule, they have less viewership than the Summer Olympics.
Yeah.
And there's probably Olympic fatigue, too, let alone how close it was to Tokyo. So, I just named seven negatives that NBC had to walk into with this. And you combined all of that with the fact that I think this, generally speaking in America, people were really sort of still into football and couldn't really get off just sort of the Super Bowl and get off how amazing the NFL postseason was. And what you got was what you got, the lowest watched Olympics of all time, viewership in primetime under 10 million, which, again, if it's not the Olympics, you think, wow, that's amazing, 9 million people watching something. That's a good number. But it was really brutal. If you're NBC, you actually just have to hope that this is kind of a unique to this time, and then in 2024 in Paris, 2026 in Milan, 2028 in Los Angeles, people are in a better place, and they want to sort of cheer and root for the Olympics again. But the Olympic brand was hurt. There's no way around it. It was a horrible Olympics. I have to just be blunt. And I am someone who covered 7 Olympics and as big an Olympic fan as exists.
You do a good job navigating through those waters. Thank you for that. Tonight, the Predators are in Seattle to take on the Kraken, and Willie and his crew will be off for Bally Sports because this game is going to be shown on TNT. I wish Ernie Johnson, Shaq, and Charles Barkley were doing the game. That would be fun, just to see what they would say. But now that we're getting now into the latter stretches of this regular season, and Preds, this will be game 54 for them tonight. How do you think, because I had Gary Bettman start the pregame with me on Saturday, and I asked him about the new TV deal and how he felt it was going to this point, because obviously the Stadium Series game on Saturday was on TNT as well. How do you think overall TNT and ESPN have done? We've been accustomed to NBC for so long. How do you think the new TV partners have been this year?
Well, first, let me give you some familiarity with Batman just to make you feel in the mood. Ready? Boo! All right, so now you feel.
Did anybody boo in the booth?
No,
Darren,
that's why he likes Nashville. Every time he comes here, we don't boo him. So I think he keeps coming back. He loves it here.
I know it's not a hockey game until Batman is booed. That's why a good Canadian joke there. I think if you're Batman and the league, and I think you have to be pleased. What I have seen from both Turner and ESPN, I really like. To me, when I sort of look at this stuff, I just want you to treat me as an adult when it comes to what you're presenting me on sports television. So that's intelligent discussions in the studio show, or at least entertaining discussions. And then when it comes to the game production, I want I want good announcers, obviously. I want the production to be really good. I want you to invest in camera work. I want you to invest in being on site. I want you to invest in making me feel like the experience is good as a television viewer, because I'm not in the arena. So I think both entities have done a good job. It's always going to be subjective. If you don't like Paul Bissonnette or if you don't like Mark Messier, well, you're not going to like sort of watching those studio shows. But from what I've seen, at least from my perspective, I think they've done well. I feel like they've taken the best of what NBC does and incorporated it. And I will say this, just on the Turner show, Gretzky's been better than I expected. And I kind of expected Gretzky to be sort of milquetoast and vanilla always, and he hasn't been that. I'm not saying he's Barkley. He's never going to be Charles Barkley. He's not what he is. But he's sort of willing to be self-deprecating. He's willing to laugh at himself. And then the other night, when it came to Russia and the Ukraine, I thought the guy was unbelievable. I mean, again, it is one thing for me and you to say, to be critical of, like, the Russian invasion of Ukraine. It is an entirely other thing when Wayne Gretzky, the most famous person in the sport, says something. I do think Gretzky has some Ukrainian relatives, by the way. But I was just really impressed because, like, Gretzky's not a guy who always goes into controversial places, and he was dead on that one. I mean, really forceful about calling for, sports entities across the world to, like, not compete against Russian teams. So in short, yeah, I've been impressed. The postseason is going to be tricky because games are going to be on both networks, and that's never really easy for fans. But as a general rule, in terms of production, I thought they've done well.
I agree. Richard Deitch is with us from The Athletic. So, Richard, let's get down to the fun stuff that you have been working on here. Not too long ago on your podcast, you had a really good interview with Troy Aikman. It was during the NFL playoffs, and at that time, you asked him about his contract that was expiring with Fox. And I got the impression that, we kind of thought it would get done with Fox. Well, here we are. It looks like he's leaving. It looks like he's going to Monday Night Football for ESPN. And for those that maybe haven't been following this, what happened?
Well, first of all, let's be honest. It was an incredibly mediocre performance by me in that interview, even though you're quite nice to say. Well, what happened, and again, I tip my hat to the New York Post here because they've been all over it, is ESPN really broke the bank on making an offer to Aikman and his representatives. Aikman is a WME guy. All these sort of talent agencies have all these sports figures, and it's probably a very good time to be an agent of an NFL broadcasting talent. So I think if I'm reading between sort of the lines here as well as my own reporting, I think it was the relationship with Troy and Fox. It wasn't bad, but it probably could have been improved. And I think some of this probably had to do with salary. I have no doubt, and it's just not, like the realities of the world, that if somebody in the business gets a gigantic amount of money, as Romo did, and if you think you're sort of the equivalent there, you're going to want a number or a dollar figure that's close. I just think that's, you see this in sports all the time. You see it in business. And so I have no doubt that Troy wanted to be in his next deal sort of commensurate with Romo. From what I understand, Fox was certainly willing to give him a raise. Where the world changed is ESPN just came in with a crazy number, just totally break the bank of our salary structure number.
Like way more than he made as a player, right? Troy Aikman didn't make this much as a quarterback for the Cowboys, right?
Yeah, so I feel very confident in this reporting that his overall deal is $92.5 million over 5 years. So you can do the math there. I don't have what Troy made as a player in front of me, but it most likely, just given the era Troy played in, he's probably making more money now than he did then. Although obviously the money then would probably be worth more now, just based on inflation and all that other stuff.
Sure.
So if you're Troy Aikman, I think you have to take the deal, even though I would argue that the Fox job is a better job. But, Troy's done that job for, however 20 years, whatever. It's. I think as much as he likes being part of the big game of the week, like he's been part of the big game of the week for a long time. He's done, a number of Super Bowls. And then, so this is just, it's hard to turn down money. I think you guys would agree when a new place comes and just tells you how much they like you, and it feels good. I mean, when The Athletic was pursuing me, it felt good, to be told that they like my work and they wanted me. I think it's just human nature. So that's what changed. I think Troy would have been very happy going back to Fox. I think Troy would have been happy going to Amazon. But ESPN's Jimmy Pitaro, the highest levels at ESPN, just came in and changed the ballgame on this. And once I don't think it's officially signed. I think it's sort of, they have a verbal agreement or something to that effect. But once this sort of happens, then the reverberations on all this obviously are massive. Al Michaels' contract's up. I think he, in his ideal world, would have loved to have worked with Troy at Amazon, so that's now not going to happen. So Al has a decision to make. Does he go to Amazon? Does ESPN call Al, or does Al call ESPN? And does Al want to work at ESPN? Are there others out there in terms of, like a Sean Payton type or something like that, who would Amazon be interested in them?
Tons of dominoes. I would just love to be
number one analyst.
Richard, our goal in life, I think all should be that when we're 77, we become a free agent as sought after as Al Michaels at 77.
Oh my
he's
God,
got great options
now,
here.
He's a unicorn, though, in that he's the best of all time doing it, and he's still really great at his profession. So, this is like Vince Scully, like Hubie Brown, Ernie Harwell. You know what I mean? There's Mike Emmerich. They're just
the greatest of the
very
great.
few guys like at that age who can sort of still command leverage, but Al definitely has. I'll give you one to think about. That if you're ESPN, I think the thing you think about with Al is, do you think by the time Al is 82, he's still as good as he is? Because they're real. Obviously, one of the big reasons they brought Troy in was for the Super Bowl year in 2026. And so, they want to obviously. I mean, if you think ESPN promotes and markets stuff today, hold on to your hat. I mean, they're going to do it. They're going to do a 365-day Super Bowl pregame show probably that year. So, they're going to promote the Super Bowl as much as you can. So, if you're ESPN's bosses, you're thinking, would we sign Al to a 5-year deal? Do we think Al would be great at 82 as he is at 77? So that's one of the conversations they have. And then, obviously, as the New York Post reported to, Joe Buck will be talking to Fox in the next week or two, and Joe has a big decision. Like, if how does Joe feel about working with a new partner? I know Joe was not happy with Troy moving to ESPN, and so Fox's main job today is to really rehab that relationship with Joe Buck and keep Joe Buck. Because if Joe decides that, hey, I'm not going to sign you guys in a year, then the likelihood is I think he follows Troy to ESPN. And then finally, I know I've been filibustering, but it's just worth your listeners to think about this. If ESPN signs Joe Buck and they've already signed Troy Aikman, I mean, can you imagine being an ESPN talent and going in for your contract renegotiation and ESPN telling you they don't have money to pay you? I mean, how absurd will that be, given that they, you know what I'm saying, they will have spent like $30 million on their new Monday Night Football booth. So it's really changed the game when it comes to the sort of the financial structure, particularly ESPN.
Now, Richard, quickly before we get you out of here, 2 quick questions. One, who fills that seat for Troy once the contract is signed and he moves over to ESPN? And then 2, it just seemed like, especially during the playoffs, they brought up the team in regards to who's calling the game, and it was Troy made a snarky comment because he wasn't calling a Cowboy game, and I'm like, did I just hear what I thought I heard? It was like he was throwing shade. He was upset that he wasn't calling. They were not calling a Cowboys game, and they were calling another game. Is there anything to that?
Well, let me answer the second one first, okay? I mean, I got to make sure I don't get you guys in trouble with any FCC violations. When you have FU money, there are things you can say on air, and it just doesn't matter, does it? So I think Troy was pretty ticked off about not like having the best game of the week, and I think that's where the subconscious kind of popped in, and he said something. I don't think in a million years Troy thought this would be, as big a deal as it was, but. I'm sure these guys sometimes forget, like, hey, we just said something and 40 million people saw it. You know what I mean? So, like, but yeah, that's what I think that was. I think he was ticked off, and I think he just said it. And I think if you're Troy Aikman, like, whatever. What does it really matter? I mean, you're not getting fired. And so that's part one. And probably showed a little of Troy's frustration. I don't really know who's going to take the spot right now.
Because Fox has the Super Bowl, right? This is another part of the equation, right? Fox may, like you just said, there's a scenario where they don't have either Joe Buck or Troy Aikman, but at the very least they don't have Aikman, and they have the Super Bowl.
They do. Greg Olsen is the in-house favorite. So if they do not go outside, I think he will be their number one. They really like him. I think it's just a question of, do they think he is, one, ready to be a number one right now, and two, if you put him as the number one, you're making like a 5-year investment that this is your next person. So they have to make that decision. Secondly, I know they are looking around to see what's out there. I think their problem at the moment is there's not a sure thing out there, right? Like, I mean, I guess if you thought McVay was a sure thing, maybe you'd bring him in. I wouldn't guarantee he is. I personally do not think Sean Payton is any kind of sure thing as a game analyst. I think he'll end up being more of a studio person. So who do they go to? Do they try to go to do they try to go elsewhere to like existing talent and swipe existing talent, well, they already had Charles Davis, right? He's the number 2 guy at CBS. I don't think like Brian Greasy or Louis Riddick like is the game-changing hire for Fox. There's always, I guess, a Tom Brady dream, but Tom Brady's never made anything clear that he wants to do this. You can, Phillip Rivers was a very high-profile guy who's out there, but he's coaching football right now. So that's Fox's problem. There's not a guaranteed person out there who I think they can bring in who's gonna be either can't miss or get viewers excited. So this is just a pure guess on my part. I think if it shakes out and if they're able to re-sign Buck, I think Olsen gets the bump. But that's really just a pure guess on my part.
Wow. Richard, a lot of good stuff there. And I know a lot of our listeners probably heard this and said, wow, I didn't even know this was going on, because it is a little bit under the radar. But when you turn on the TV for your Sunday games, people are going to feel this for sure. So, Richard, thanks a lot for the time as always. We'll talk to you again soon.
Yeah, it's because your listeners have a life, and I appreciate that. Thank you, guys.
That's Richard Deitch. He's with The Athletic. You can also listen to his podcast, Sports Media with Richard Deitch. It's really, really good. He had a one-on-one with Troy Aikman in the weeks leading up to this. And, of course, since the fallout of this, there's been plenty to talk about. There always has great stuff on The Athletic as well. Stay tuned. We're going to pose this question to everybody listening right now. What do you think the announcing team should be? Now that Troy Aikman is likely going to Monday Night Football, who should call games with him, and who should call games with Joe Buck on the main Fox game and the Super Bowl next year? What do you think Fox should do? Of course, it'd be nice to have all this kind of money to throw around. Stay tuned. We'll have more of this coming back here on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Do you have that one person or thing that just makes you mad? Join us every Friday at noon on the DDC for You Just Made the List. Fueled by Parman Energy. Visit ParmanEnergy.com, your one-stop petroleum solution, and try Star Movie on the DDC on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
You just made the list.
Attorney Joe Cordell.
Think back to a time when you've had to contend with a difficult challenge in your life, but that, in the end, came out okay. I'm willing to bet that in almost all those cases, you had someone alongside you that you trusted, whether the challenge related to a career change, a health crisis, or even the death of a loved one. But if the challenge is divorce and you're a guy, there's a good chance that your trusted friend for all life's challenges to date has been your spouse, whom the legal system now terms the opposing party. This is why guys notoriously are prone to feeling isolated and alone during the divorce process. The good news is you don't have to go through this alone. Let Cordell and Cordell be the partner that you can count on through the challenges of divorce. Call us at 866-DADS-LAW or visit CordellCordell.com. You are not alone.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell and Cordell's Nashville area attorneys. 866-DADS-LAW, 810 Crescent Center Drive, Suite 160, Franklin, Tennessee, 37067. CordellCordell.com.
Looking for a big diamond? Genesis Diamonds introduces our Elite Collection. All new for 2020. These are large, rare diamonds in the top 1% of the world. 3 carat, 4 carat, 5 carat, up to 10 carat precious diamonds for the most discriminating buyers who appreciate quality. Genesis owners travel worldwide, tapping a vast network of diamond cutters, carefully hand-selecting each of these remarkable diamonds. We invite you to view this premium collection of GIA-certified diamonds, rounds, cushion cuts, emerald cuts, even fancy colored diamonds in size and quality never before seen here. And to showcase these exquisite stones, only Genesis has the finest handcrafted rings from all the world-class designers. If 2020 is the year you're upgrading her original diamond, or you just want to go big for the first time, no need to travel to New York or Los Angeles or Antwerp. Genesis Diamonds' elite collection of large precious diamonds is here in Nashville. Genesis Diamonds and luxury pre-owned Rolexes, Green Hills and Cool Springs.
Finishing jobs on time, never being idle, and powerful equipment. Meade has the John Deere excavating equipment and the smart grade technology solutions for you and your business. Power your business with a new, used, or rented excavator and get the performance you expect and service you can rely on. Call us today for the equipment built as tough and reliable as you, or visit us at meadtractor.com. That's meadtractor.com.
Parman Energy is your one-stop petroleum solution across all of Tennessee, offering turnkey petroleum solutions for professionals in major industries, serving trucking fleets, construction companies, industrial plants, and more. Whether a large corporation or owner-operator, Parman Energy has your diesel fuel, lubricant, DEF, and equipment needs. No matter how you're getting there, start with Parman. Visit ParmanEnergy.com for more info. Your Tennessee petroleum solution providing totally outrageous customer service.
Tonight, going high off the glass is Cameron Weston. The Blue Raiders hit the road to take on Charlotte. Coverage begins at 5:30
on ESPN
94.9 and the Game Nashville app.
Hey, this is Matthias Ekholm. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Good stuff from Richard Deitch, as always, on this Wednesday. Lots to digest. By the way, we'll have some Sammy Hagar at the Ryman tickets to give away here on the show today, so be listening for that. Predators tonight in Seattle to take on the Kraken, and that will be a 9 o'clock puck drop and a pregame at 8. Everything heard here on these airwaves. So, okay, Willie, I heard you pose the question. What do you guys think?
Yeah, well,
there's
Derek
not many.
and I were just starting to look at it. Looking at the bullpen for Fox, I can see now that you've lost Troy Aikman, and I think in hindsight, maybe they just misread the market for Troy Aikman. And while, Darren, I got the impression you're not wild one way or the other on Troy Aikman. I think you see a drop-off, especially when there's not a guy waiting in the wings, which there doesn't appear to be. If Greg Olson is your best guy waiting in the wings, I got nothing bad to say about Greg Olson. He did the 49ers Titans game. Thought he did a good job. Kevin Burkhardt has been his partner. He's fine, but I think there's a level between him and Troy Aikman, in my mind.
What about Buck and Daryl Johnston?
The Moose.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's done a bunch of games.
He has done a bunch of games. But you know what? Nobody's brought his name up.
No.
Nobody really ever does.
Yeah. Because like Willie said, it's not like they have names, but are those names, can you take those names and make them and put them on to do a play-by-play?
That's a lot. That's a lot to ask of a first-time duo, pretty much. So I don't know how, but it's very interesting how the dominoes have shaken. It's like a coaching shakeup almost, but on the premier announcing stage, NFL games that you've been watching now for years with the same dynamic. Romo's relatively new, but Joe Buck and Troy Aikman have been together for the better part of 2 decades.
Yep.
Calling the biggest Fox games.
Well, the way it seems now, if they can't get someone, when Troy signs a deal with ESPN, it seems like it's all but certain. It seems like they don't have someone that they can just seamlessly plug in.
Like NBC had Mike Tirico ready to go when Al Michaels' contract ran out. And so they were ready to transition to Mike Tirico. They were thinking about that a couple years in advance. And Al Michaels is still really, really good. So Al Michaels could end up at ESPN doing the game with Troy Aikman. That's possible. But he is 77, and he's not going to be around forever, but he's one of those rare guys who's still really good. So Fox's choices for Aikman's job would be to elevate somebody like Greg Olson, who is good, but he doesn't wow you with his name. He doesn't wow you with, to me, his performance yet. I think he's solid.
You don't think his name? I mean, his name.
He's a name. People know. It's not Troy Aikman, but he's
he didn't play for the Cowboys.
Played for a long time in the league.
Reason.
He was a good player for a long, long time.
Yeah.
And he's proven to be good. He's not. It's
Actually,
not going to be
a great player.
Yeah, he's not going to be a Jason Witten where you throw him in there and you'd find out, oh, what did we just do? He's not. He's not ready for this. I think he's good. The other option is like a wild card, like you're talking about, Derek, is bring somebody in who's never done it before and hope that you get Tony Romo and not Jason Witten. But that's that's a big gamble when you have the Super Bowl.
Yeah, you can't gamble with that on the Super Bowl.
That's
you either have to, have somebody established that you've been working with and then do the game, or, I mean, you just have to, don't have an analyst.
All right, now you threw out the name though.
Yeah,
that's going to be thrown out there.
Tom is going to be thrown out there, but
somebody's going to call?
Yeah, somebody's going to call Tom, and Fox probably will be the network and offer him $20 million
I'm sure
to call a
that,
game.
Right?
Will Tom do it? I don't know. You never looked at Tom as a guy that steps into the booth and call a play-by-play. I mean, yes, Peyton, he does it, but he does it in his way. He's not in the booth. He's able to do it the way he want to do it, he and his brother. I could see Tom doing something like that.
You want me to give you the name?
Who's that?
I'll give you the name. Here's your booth guy. You want to get people talking? Get Gronk in the booth.
It'll be a total disaster. A total disaster.
How do you know that, though?
It will
people
be a
love him.
Oh, they love him, and he will make it will be funny.
Let me ask you something, Derek. Is he going to be any crazier off the reservation than Bill Walton is doing college basketball games?
I can see it now. Oh, Derrick Henry has rushed for his 69th yard of the game. Oh, nice, Joe.
I take Bill Walton over Gronk. Okay?
Really?
Yes. I take Bill over Gronk.
Well, I don't
Bill.
know. I don't know what Gronk would be, but I mean, we know it would be wild and wacky. And look, if you want attention, people love Gronk. He look, whatever you want to say about him, he's a Hall of Fame player, but he relates to people because he seems like the everyday
hangable
guy,
you can
right?
Hangability. It seems like.
But can he break down the game?
That's it. That's
the question.
You're saying he did already admit that he didn't watch much film on Hard Knocks and didn't really pay much attention to that stuff, and then backpedaled and say,
does Gronk? Does he want to put in the work?
And
that
it is work.
Takes
that is you have to travel
especially
every
at
week.
that level.
Yeah, you're traveling every week. Mm-hmm. You do have to if you're doing it right. Now
he may love the travel, if you know what I mean.
Okay,
going different cities and
no question, but you do have to go there. You talk to the team. If you're going to do it right, you do have to prepare properly for the game. And that would be the other thing about a Brady is he just gave you this whole thing about I want to spend more time with my family. What if Fox was like, well, okay, we'll just fly you in the day of the game. You don't have to do all that other stuff. Would he want to do that? Like I would think if you're going to do it, you want to do it right. I don't think
he would want to do that.
You want to do it right, just like playing quarterback, right? If it's your job, you embrace it. You want to prepare like the best prepare. So it's a really interesting question.
Conundrum right now.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, Gronk could be fun.
It'll be fun, Darren. It will be fun. I tell you that. It will be fun and it will be funny.
And by the way, he would be a guy that would be all for getting paid, really nice. And I get it. He's going to probably endorse a lot of things. Like I said, people love Gronk. Mm-hmm. They just do. I don't know what he would add. He may end up being a complete disaster. But here's the thing. It's not like they haven't put complete disasters on there, and then after a year they move. You try it, and then if it doesn't work, if it's a disaster, you move on. It's not like that hasn't happened before.
Yeah, it has.
But it has. I can give you that.
You don't want the disaster in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, you would rather have it when the Jacksonville Jaguars are playing the Cleveland Browns.
And that's the best way to groom a guy is you put him on those games for a year or two and see what you got, and then you're like, hey, this guy's really good. Let's move him up. Yeah. But when you pay this kind of money, like Troy could make $16 million a year.
I would throw Willie up there before I put Gronk. Seriously.
Well,
I'll work for a lot less than that.
Well, I mean, Willie has done it. So
exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's why I would put Willie in before Gronk.
Gator Tim on our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. They should pair Joe Buck with Chris Collinsworth. That way I only have to watch one game on mute. Both are awful. Now, wait a minute. Gator Tim doesn't like Collinsworth?
Come on, everybody should like Collinsworth.
I thought every
he's a Gator.
Gator fill-in-the-blank name. You don't like Collinsworth? I thought Gators stick together. No?
Yeah.
Some Gator-on-Gator crime right there.
Yeah, there you go.
They only stick together when it's time to rag on Willie for beating Vanderbilt.
Matthew from Paris says, I think Fox needs to bring back Charles Davis. Is Charles
He's on CBS.
Something?
He's on CBS.
I was going to say.
He is property of CBS right now.
So I was going to say, did I miss where he's a free agent and he's out there available?
I don't think he's available.
You know who would be really good? And his name, why is his name escaping me now? But he's on CBS. He does the game day show with Howie and all them.
Nate Burleson?
Yeah, Nate Burleson.
Yeah.
I think Nate would be good.
Yeah.
He would be great in that role.
And, of course, he's now not only doing that,
he's doing
but
GMA.
Their version of CBS This Morning is what it's called. Yeah, so he's gone like Strahan beyond
just
sports.
Yeah.
So he is a superstar. So that would be, but of course, Fox, I don't think they can get in on that. Like he's CBS all the way, right?
Yeah, I think so.
He's definitely he is. He's doing he's on their morning show, and he does stuff on NFL Network, which who owns? Is that CBS?
I think I'm not sure.
I think that's right. I think. No name on the text says Dennis Miller's available. Speaking of one-year wonders, could also throw Tony Kornheiser on there. That was a one-year wonder. Jason Witten was one and done. So I mean, it's not like they haven't had one and dones, right?
Emmitt Smith? No.
Oh boy, I'm just telling you. The first time, I was like,
that was a disaster.
I was like, oh boy, ruh-roh, Nate on our text line says Antonio Brown is available.
He might take his shirt off.
Could you imagine Antonio Brown in the booth?
No.
Oh my Lord.
They will get the viewership, I'm telling you that.
Holy moly. Yeah, I'm going to throw that in one and done. That may be one game and done.
That's a one game and done.
That's not a one season and done. That's a one gamer.
Got a 10-day contract, buddy.
Gator Tim has followed up and says the Gators have denounced Collinsworth. What?
Whoa.
I missed that memo.
Denounced.
Wow, what did he?
Who's the board? Who's the head of the board of that? Is it Tim Tebow? Like, who gets to make that decision?
He's been kicked off the island? I didn't know he was kicked off the Gator Island. Wow.
Dude, is there a story behind this?
I'm
going to Google
what
this.
happened?
Collinsworth denounced.
Did he go against the Gators in the game or something?
Kicked off Gator Island.
Man. Did he not kiss the ring of Tim Tebow? What happened?
What happened?
Okay, here's one. SL in Knoxville on our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. I didn't think about this. This is not bad, and I haven't followed up to see if he's doing anything. He's probably still getting paid, so he's in no hurry. Mike Mayock is available. I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Super Bowl? Because was he really a game analyst, or was he more of a draft analyst?
He did do some
games,
draft.
yeah.
He did do some games, but
I feel like he did some Thursday night games.
More
maybe?
draft analyst.
NFL
but he did
Network
do
stuff.
games. Yeah.
Yeah.
I always enjoyed him announcing. I think he's good.
How about Baldinger?
I like Baldy.
I like Baldy too. I like Baldy. Yes. I think he would be great.
I have been in the booth for a couple of games of his, some preseason games, just keeping stats and stuff. I like his energy. He gets into it. He's passionate about the game. I actually did a game with his brother, who used to do some games for CBS as well. Craig, I think is his name. Played in the league for a long time. He was one of those lower. If there were a lot of extra games, he would get one of. He wouldn't get a game every week, but he'd get some. But yeah, this is a like you said, it's a conundrum.
Yeah,
that Fox is in, and now Monday
Night Football.
Monday Night Football has their team. So Is Louis Riddick in this discussion somewhere? Does he bounce around and end up somewhere?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know there was some people at ESPN, probably some fans, not wild about the Monday night team that they had. I thought they were good. Mm-hmm. It was better than I think what they had. But now you got this Manning cast, so you have Aikman going up against the Manning cast, sort of. If that continues,
but it's two different. They're two different styles, and again, the Mannings get to do it the way they want to do it, and you're watching it for pure entertainment, right? Even though they're going to give you something, I mean, they know the game, but it's for entertainment purposes, really.
Mm-hmm. We're getting asked on our text line, D-Mace, if you're available.
Oh, no. I'll take the money, though. I take the money.
I bet you would.
I take the money. No, that is I tried to do that because this was years ago, and I think the NFL still has it, the broadcasting boot camp. And they send you there for a week, and you get to meet a lot of people and make a lot of contacts, but they send you through simulations of certain things. And I did one with Gus.
Did you?
And yeah, and
Did you really?
That's awesome.
We were doing a Carolina game, and it is hard. It is hard.
Yeah?
I think we did it for like maybe a series. It is hard, boy. It is hard.
I don't think you've ever told that story before.
No, I enjoyed it,
but
it was like a simulation. It was a simulation.
Oh, it was a simulation.
Yeah, it wasn't a game.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah,
this was like a tape of a game?
It was a tape of a Carolina. I forgot who Carolina was playing, but we had to talk about it as if it was live.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was fun, but man, it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
That's great. Did you like
Kyle,
Gus Johnson?
Oh yeah, he's great, man.
I love Gus Johnson.
Gus is great. He's
Kyle
a Big Ten
text
guy.
line said that Collinsworth has been thrown to the Gators. See yourself out. Kyle. See yourself.
I can't find the story. What did he do?
I don't know.
I
Is
told
this
you
kind of
he
like
kissed
the
the ring,
unwritten
man.
rules? Is there something did we miss something?
I guess
being
so.
denounced. I just want to know what he did to Gator Nation.
Was it like did they bring him up? Was it like a tribal thing where they brought him amongst the seniors and they all voted him out? How did they do it?
I don't know. He's been kicked off the island. I don't know what happened. We've got to investigate this. All right, we got to come back. AJ Malesko to start the second hour. That's next.
From the Fox 17 News Code Red Weather Center.
I'm Fox 17 News Code Red meteorologist Dan Guthrie. Good-looking day today with a lot of sunshine once again this morning and this afternoon. Temperatures will be climbing to the middle 70s and will stay there the rest of the week.
This weather report brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Victory Award-winning New Amsterdam Vodka knows all about it, but in life, it's not always so clear. So New Amsterdam Vodka believes that in life, you've got to find your own wins. You've got to overcome your fears, go all in, even when you've got nothing at all. Find your wins. And when you do, raise that glass of New Amsterdam Vodka in victory. You've earned it. New Amsterdam Spirits Company, Modesto, California.
Parman Tractor and Equipment is your one-stop tractor and equipment solution and Middle Tennessee's Link Belt and Takeuchi dealer. Rent or purchase a track loader, mini excavator, large excavators for your job site, or something in between. Parman is now hiring and seeking qualified candidates for construction equipment truck drivers, service technicians, and more. Apply at parmantractor.com or call 615-865-7800. Come be an employee owner with the Parman team, your Middle Tennessee Link Belt and Takeuchi dealer.
What if I told you there was a breakthrough technology for treating erectile dysfunction that can eliminate ED? This is Kim for the Tennessee Men's Clinic, and I'm not going to tell you that. Because despite what some groups claim in their ads, the truth is, there is no such thing. What they're talking about is acoustic wave therapy, and it's been used to treat ED for many years. In fact, we've used it in our practice since 2018. And while wave therapy is useful for some ED cases, it's not a miracle cure. And you could spend a lot of money with those other groups finding that out. At the Tennessee Men's Clinic, we offer many ED treatments, including wave therapy. We've successfully treated thousands of men with protocols that have success rates as high as 90%, and we'll find the right treatment for you. You could even have great sex the day after your appointment. So don't be fooled. Call us today and get the right treatment for you. Your initial appointment is only $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. Call 615-208-9090 or go to TennesseeMen'sClinic.com. Visit our website to learn more, including side effects. Treatments extra. Results vary.
Attention veterans of Middle Tennessee. Little Guys Movers wants to put your hard-earned skills and leadership talent to work with your very own Little Guys Movers franchise. Be your own boss and build a team with standards as high as your own, and all while serving your community with the same hustle that you served your country. Use your existing 401k to invest in yourself. Financing options are available. Start a fulfilling, profitable new chapter of your life as a member of a team with 30-plus years of growth and good times at LittleGuysFranchise.com. That's LittleGuysFranchise.com.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
Hey, it's Jared for TriStar Moving. If you're looking to move, you need to give my friends at TriStar Moving a call. At TriStar Moving, you'll get 5-star service throughout the entire process. Everything will be taken care of, from covering your floors, banisters, railings, front door thresholds, furniture, TVs, and more. They took great care of my move and made it as stress-free as possible. If you're looking to move, give TriStar Moving a call, 615-640-1219, or visit them at NashvilleMoving.org/radio and get 5% off your entire move. TriStar Moving, my official movers.
This Saturday, Tint World at 500 South Main Street in Goodlettsville is having their customer appreciation party. Check out their vinyl wraps, paint protection film, alarms, stereos, remote starter, ceramic coating, and more. Customize your ride at Tint World.
Zines First is the official sign company for 1025 The Game. Go to sfnash.com.
From the Hillside Medical Game Studios, WPRT-FM Pegram, WPUC HD2 Laverne, broadcasting 97.5 Murfreesboro, 106.3 Williamson County,
ESPN
1025 The Game, and the Game Nashville app.
A Cromwell Media Station.
Live from the Game Nashville studios, it's time for Darren, Daunic, and Chase. With hosts Darren McFarland, Willie Daunic, and Chase McCabe. On Nashville's best sports talk,
ESPN
1025 The Game.
Not today, though. Hour number 2. Darren, Daunic, and D-Mace. Yeah, Darren McFarland, Willie Daunic, Derek Mason with you. Boy, we had a lot of fun on Saturday at Nissan Stadium. The Stadium Series between the Predators and the Lightning, and our next guest was in attendance as well. Got a chance to see her. She popped in our booth, our radio booth. AJ Malesko joins us. AJ, how you doing?
I'm good, guys. How you doing? You guys recovered?
we let me just tell you, Sunday was rough. I'm glad nothing was on the schedule on Sunday. Just saying.
Well, the sun came out, so that was sort of nice as somebody being in from out of town. I actually didn't leave until Monday, flew right to Columbus and had a Blue Jackets game last night. But so I got to enjoy Nashville on Sunday with a little bit of warmth on Sunday and Monday.
Yeah, I think we're gonna be in the low 70s today. So it was actually perfect for Saturday night, right? And now we're getting the nice weather here today. So overall, what did you make of the experience here in Nashville?
Oh, well, it was amazing. And I've been to Nashville a bunch of times, as you guys know, covering the Preds for First NBC, sometimes with ESPN now. And so I love coming to Nashville, but this is the first time I've come, and I've gone to a hockey game, and I actually wasn't working. So it was really fun just to sort of take in the atmosphere, and I was really impressed. You're absolutely right. The weather was perfect, cold, and felt like hockey weather, but not like, Minnesota Winter Classic cold, but luckily. And it was just an amazing energy, and walking around the Winter Park earlier in the day, and then getting to walk around the NHL Fan Fest right before. I thought it was really well done by both the league and, of course, by you guys and the Preds. It was fun. Everybody was happy, and obviously the game didn't end in your guys' favor, but it was also a good game. Sometimes you have those events and all the build-up, and then the hockey is sort of a letdown, but it was an exciting, thrilling game as well.
We haven't talked to Skilsey. He's out with the Preds in Seattle because they take on the Kraken tonight.
But we have confirmed that he made it out there, right? He did.
I don't know if that's confirmed, Willie. It's a really good question. Did he make it out onto the ice on Sunday? AJ, can you give us?
He did.
Because we haven't gotten a follow-up.
He is in fact in Seattle,
Okay.
and I can confirm that well, you know what? Actually, I'm not sure I can confirm that he made it onto the ice. He told me he did. I did not make my way over there to watch, so he could be lying for all I know. But the report was that he had to be there at